So the roles are fairly simple, as intended by Adam for the setup of the game. We will have a basic seer, standard seer. You indicate a player you want to check, and I give you thumbs up for werewolf, thumbs down for not a werewolf. We will have an apprentice seer who can take over when the original seer dies. We can have an avenging bodyguard who will protect someone each night. They cannot, like the traditional bodyguard, protect the same person in consecutive nights. And if they protect successfully, they can themselves choose someone they want to kill. So they don't have to use that if they don't want to. If they don't feel confident, they will pick a werewolf, but they have this opportunity. So also then when you put up a name that you protect, I will give you either a thumbs up if you protected successfully or a thumbs down if you didn't protect successfully. And then you can give me a name as a target if I gave you a thumbs up. Then we have an old hag. It's a very standard old hag. It just sends someone out of the village. It doesn't protect from night kills. It just basically sends someone out for a day. Then we have a flower girl, or flower boy, flower person. That's a person who will be called at night, and they can give me the name of anybody in the game. And if that person is a vanilla villager, I will give them a thumbs up. If it's the bodyguard, the seer, or any kind of werewolf, they will get a thumbs down. They cannot come out with their role. I will not kill them if they try to do that. The benefit of that role is essentially that you will have very good reads because you basically have actually information, but you cannot say that how you got that information. So you can either come up with some reason why you trust that person, but basically you can try to help steer perhaps a bit the conversation if you want to. The person you checked will not know that you checked them. So it's like a one-way street kind of thing. Then we will have a particular kind of hunter, a Yossi. He will have a knife only. So he cannot shoot anybody in the village. He can only pick between his neighbors, left and right. That's why you all have numbers. So that person, when they die, gets to choose if they want to kill either one of their neighbors. They don't have to do that, but they can if they so choose, if they mistrust one of the people seated next to them. Then we have the usual cursed and lichens, nothing too strange about those. Then we have villagers, we have werewolves and werewolf hunters. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have questions, just unmute, ask away.
With the flower girl, so what if they check a cursed or a lichen? Will that come up with no info? Will that come up with a...
That will be a villager for that intent and purpose. So then you will get a thumbs up.
Okay.
So I presume the cursed doesn't know the cursed.
Correct, yes. Okay. Cursed and lichens will not know that they're cursed or lichens.
Two questions on the old hag and towards the end of the game, kind of like the end of game checks. If they send out a villager, meaning that they're like, what's left on screen is 2 villagers, 2 werewolves, will that trigger the end of the game for parity, or is the villager that's out of the village still considered in?
I would probably not trigger parity yet, because parity is just meant to make the game shorter. Mm-hmm. If there is no other way that someone can win. So I think in that case I wouldn't. But I also think that person would maybe not choose to send anybody out at that point anymore. But yeah, if it comes up, I would say that's how I would handle it.
And the opposite side of the question, if towards like they send the last werewolf out, I'm guessing we won't just end the game. We actually have to kill that person.
No, you will still have to kill that poor leftover miserable werewolf. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there any chance of making your screen follow your order? Because at the moment,
yes,
I'm number one.
That should be a thing that I can do. I just don't know here.
So follow host. Yeah, that's it.
Video order. Is that doing anything for you?
Yeah.
Or do I have to?
No, that's cool.
Okay.
So we can have more than one cursed, more than one lichen, and more than one werewolf hunter?
Yes, that's entirely possible. One thing I figured out that I would do, just to sort of a little bit give you a conversation starter, just a minor complication, is that the seer, when they die, they still get their check, And then, because the seer goes second last in my night order. So night order is first the flower girl, then the werewolves, then the avenging bodyguard, then the seer, and then the old hag. So by the time the seer's turn comes, I know whether they will die or not. If it is the round where they die, if they die, who knows, I will let them choose between 3 different options. They can choose between sauna, booze, or tar. So it's essentially it's a random choice between 3 things, and you don't know what they do or which one does what. One of those things will do absolutely nothing. One of those things makes me in the morning, the following morning, announce that the seer has died. So you have that much information, so that possibly is a little bit helpful. And the third thing, I will roll a die and I will message the check that the seer got to someone in the village. It can be a villager, it can be a werewolf, like anybody. I roll a die. So yeah, but that's just, I don't know. You can then speculate which of those 3 things does what. So
What
I
were the
think
3
that's-
things again?
sauna, booze, or tar.
Does that carry on to the apprentice seer when they become the seer, or?
No, I'm only gonna want to do this once. So, so that's a one-time thing. So
Okay.
yeah. Do you have questions about any of the stuff I just told you?
That's seer stuff. You said that happens the night they die, right?
Yes.
And did you say who's last in the turn order?
The old hag is last.
Okay. So I couldn't remember if bodyguard came after or not, because the avenging bodyguard killed the seer. I was wondering if that would count too. But
Yeah, the avenging bodyguard, because they could protect the seer. So basically, the werewolves go before that, then the avenging bodyguard, and then the seer, because otherwise, I wouldn't know whether or not to trigger this. I figured.
What happens if the seer dies during the day?
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Ah, that's a question I wasn't prepared for. then they don't get to choose, because that's
Makes sense,
logistically too complicated for me.
If the village was stupid enough to do it, then it's done.
Yes, they had it
Yeah.
coming. I agree with Simon there.
I thought I'd check that. 'Cause
So when the werewolf hunter shoots them, it's the village being stupid. We know whose side you're on.
Oh,
I haven't dealt
ouch.
out the roles yet, so don't jump to any conclusions. Unless there's any further questions, I will roll up the rolls now.
Just a clarification, they won't get one of those 3 things, but you will still announce when the seer dies if they are killed by a hunter or...
No, I will just message the apprentice seer then. Because letting you know that the seer died is one of those 3 things, so then I will just treat it like a normal fatality. And you find out, by the way, what teams people were on when they die, both during the day and in the night. And we have standard 3 nominations, and we will have a timer. So for the first day, you have 12 minutes, and after that, you have 10 minutes, because we want to chop stuff. Yes.
I love the way you know it stuff, Barbie. It's so cool.
Fatality.
Any more issues we should clarify? Everybody, off to bed.
don't forget to mute.
Yes, I'm muting all of you. All right, welcome to this lovely, peaceful village. We have a warm summer night, and we will forget all about any points or contests or silly things like that. To start off, could I ask the flower girl to wake up? Flower girl, you get to act on night 0. So if you want to give me a name, I will indicate to you if that person is a vanilla villager or have any role of any type. All right, thank you, flower girl, please. Then when the flower girl is fast asleep, I would ask the werewolves to wake up. Werewolves, please wake up and say hi to each other. You should be seeing this many. All right, werewolves, now that you have all gazed longingly at each other, please go back to bed. avenging bodyguard. Please just give a short little wave so we all know who you are. You don't have any work for this night. There's not a lot of murder going on in town right now. Then the seer, please wake up. Seer, whom would you like to check? Thank you, Seer. Please go back to sleep. And last but not least, Old Hag, please wake up. You can also already this night decide to send somebody out if you wish to do so. All right. Thank you, Old Hag. You can go back to bed. And at that, the village awakens. No one has been killed. This is a very peaceful village, and you're just all getting in the mood to celebrate midsummer. But there's one person, Eddie, who has been sent away. You are going to have a job interview to do some licorice testing at a local factory. So you will be gone for today, but we'll see you back tonight before we go back to sleep. And at that, I will start your 12-minute timer, and the day is yours.
I don't think Eddie will return if he's going to a liquor factory. Bye-bye.
I'm afraid
Going
we
to
have
a
a lot.
licorice factory, there's a big difference.
I'm afraid we have a ton of werewolves here because this is a stacked village team.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I was asking if you have 2 or 3 werewolf hunters, because there's no other werewolf role.
Yeah.
No, we have 2 confirmed killing roles, the UC and the hunter, and the avenging bodyguard.
Yeah.
That's super strong for the village.
Isn't the hunter like one thing though? Isn't it just a knife hunter?
No. She said there's also gun hunter.
Well, the avenging bodyguard
missed
isn't
that.
necessarily strong because they could kill a villager with their power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's more kills controlled by the village team.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely shifting.
So yeah, Alex,
so the
Elliot,
seers should not.
there's a normal hunter too.
So the seers should probably come out earlier, not today, but maybe day 2 or day 3, because you've got an apprentice, you've got a bodyguard. Like, we need to kind of if there are like 5 and werewolves and possibly a curse, we need to be able to kill them dead, or at least confirm villagers.
Can we agree the seer should use tar?
Why do you think tar is the correct one?
Because, I mean, tar either gives you a chance to tar and feather the person they chose, or a chance to write something in tar that communicates something to the village. Those were my thoughts.
Or it could be an opposite of whatever it could mean, right? Like,
does anybody speak Finnish and know what, or German and know what they mean?
I think
Sauna means sauna.
Booze is like the obvious choice, so I would.
Booze means booze, and tar means tar.
Yeah.
And I assume someone means sauna.
And
Did we ever
Sonya here, she only has 2 choices, so.
Did we ever establish like how many werewolves we thought? I mean, we said we mentioned it might be a lot, but how many do we think it is?
I'm afraid there's 5 and a cursed. Yeah.
Cursed, yeah. Cursed.
5 and a cursed. Okay.
Yeah, and at least 2 of them are hunters.
Okay. Do we have lichens in this game too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So on past experience, don't forget about curse, because that's what's lost the game a few times.
Barbie, if the flower girl sees, if the person's a lichen, would you still give a thumbs up?
Yes.
Which is quite nice because the flower girl will be able to get rid of some of the lichen being under suspicion.
The funny thing is, since the flower girl goes first, the flower girl could get, a thumbs up for villager. The werewolves target that person, turns, and then the flower girl's like, oh, Graham is good, he's a villager, but in truth, he turns that night.
That's true.
To be fair, they'd also know who the villagers are, so they'd know the people most likely to have turned.
The possible,
so,
These are all great points, but y'all forget the point that she cannot come out as a flower girl, so she has to be specifically on her wording.
She can still nominate or second.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the past, not being able to come out with a role if you're in possession of enough information isn't a barrier to everyone guessing it and working out what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, so the flower girl could just say, I don't think that's a good kill. It's not revealing their role, but it's not sort of... but it's giving us information.
So, it's coming home. Who is coming home? Villagers or werewolves?
Werewolf Cup is coming home.
Oh. That's not copyright.
1 year of hurt.
Which team's flag do you have hanging out of your car door and you're driving up and down honking your horn? Like it's the Euro Cup or something.
I'm disappointed you only said car, you didn't say plural. Car doors. And boots and bonnets.
And head.
Yep.
Is any of this meant to help me find a werewolf?
Barbie, how much time is there?
Oh,
it's a pretty decent timer, but yeah.
Davey, what's your thoughts here?
I don't have too many thoughts. I have one suspicion, which is of Graham. It's not strong. He just looks preoccupied or like he's doing something. And he mentioned Tar, and he usually is opposed to talking about things that we can't control or know. But that's it though. There's nothing else that told me anything.
What do you think about Davy's suspicion on Graham?
Me? I think
Chris,
me, right?
yeah.
I didn't see the same thing. I don't have suspicion on Graham at this point, but I also don't think he's good. Like, I don't have a read on him at this point at all.
And you want to add what your own thoughts other than Graham?
I'm not sure if I like what Josh said at the beginning, but it's also just nothing that I think too heavily, that it makes me heavily suspicious of him or something. At this point, that's basically it.
I think Josh has said sort of out of the box stuff usually right at the start of most games, and he sometimes gets in trouble. Well, he can often get in trouble for it, and he's usually a villager when it happens. And to be honest, it's the times when he doesn't come up with the silly, crazy ideas, when he's the werewolf. So,
What do you think, Chris A. and Paul, about Davy's suspicion on Graham?
I didn't think
Or
down
your own
really
suspicions.
suspicious, but I think he's just trying to show off his hat.
Chris A.
Yeah, I'm not that suspicious of Graham. I'm more suspicious of Davy, but not sure at the moment. Not had enough information.
I'll nominate Luciana.
I'll second.
And I just realized I was muted. So I hear a nomination. Is anybody seconding?
I did.
Brandon is seconding. Okay, so Luciana, do you want to give us your defense?
Well, not much that I can say. I don't know why Davy is so suspicious of Graham. I can't see anything suspicious about Graham, but at the same time, I don't know what Graham could be. I'm wondering about Cody's suspicion, though, because he picked two people that I wouldn't have picked if I wanted to know about any suspicions. I'm on the village team.
All right. If there's one or two questions, I would let those pass. Otherwise, we are voting. Graham has a question.
Luciana, do you know the only other person in the village who hasn't said anything today?
Jerry?
Jerry's spoken. Flick has not.
Oh, Flick hasn't. But I think she is like
running a quiz. Yeah. That's why she was less suspicious.
Jugan hasn't said a lot, but he did say something before, but not a lot. Alex? I haven't heard Alex talk.
Yes.
All right, at that we will vote. So this is the first nomination of day one. You're voting on Luciana. You're voting up to save, down to kill, and you're voting in 3, 2, 1, vote. And we have, I think we don't have any votes. Oh no, we have one vote down. Yes, but that's not enough to kill, so we're going on.
I just want to clarify real quick. I did not come out and say, hey, everyone, I want you to know I'm super suspicious of Graham. That's not what happened. I think that's what a lot of you think happened.
No.
Josh said, Davey, what are your thoughts? Literally, the only thought about this game that I've had as far as suspicions went were that. And I prefaced it by saying, it's just those two things. It's not strong. So I wish, like, don't use this in your defense. Stop asking about my suspicion of Graham. You can be suspicious of me. You can be suspicious of Graham, but please stop linking them.
David, the only reason
you just have to say something. You
was
just have to fill your defense.
I was just trying to get conversation going, and I wasn't necessarily suspicious of Chris A and Paul, but they were relatively quiet, and I know Chris A can get pretty far in a game not saying anything, so I just wanted to hear from both of them. I wasn't suspicious of them.
How much time, Bobby? 3 minutes.
Okay.
I kind of want to get a defense from Jerry early on because we know that you can tell a lot. And I want it to be the second defense, so I'm going to nominate Jerry.
I hear a nomination from Josh for Jerry. And
Second.
Luciana is seconding it. That's fair enough. I'm on the village team and villager and happy to be a villager. So the only thing I've written down so far is Cody's just slight deviation back to the World Cup talk when he was talking to, I think, Simon. And then the only other thing you've written down on Luciana. So that's the only thing I've got sort of a note at the moment. Other than that, I'm on the village team. Please don't kill me.
All right. If there's no questions, then we will vote.
I have a question.
Please, Lucas.
Okay.
If you were a hunter and we would kill you now, who would you shoot?
Probably Sonia, to be honest. Just because she's. And it's not because you're asking me, Lucas.
All right, then we shall vote. So this is the second nomination of day one. You're voting on Jerry's life, and you're voting in 3, 2, 1, vote. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thumbs down. That's not enough, so the day continues.
I guess some people did not like Jerry's defense.
No,
I don't want her to shoot Sonia.
I thought it was well composed.
Like,
but maybe
she was wondering about Cody and then wants to shoot Sonia.
Well, I can't. If I was a hunter, I could only shoot one left or right. That's the question.
She'd basically rather that Lucas gets shot over Sonia.
No, so
is what she's saying.
But Bobby, can you please clarify, because some people still think we only have one hunter.
There's 2 types of hunters in this game. There's one hunter that is has a knife, so they can only stab left or right. And then there's one hunter that has a gun, and they shoot just like a standard hunter does, so they can shoot anybody in the village.
Oh, I see. I missed. I
We
thought
have
you meant
one
sorry, I
normal
snuck
hunter.
that in.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Sorry. I thought you were asking about the knife hunter.
No, sorry.
To clarify, you'd probably shoot me, correct, if you had a
Probably.
gun.
At the moment, yeah.
Alex, what are your thoughts?
I don't really have a lot of thoughts right now that I want to share. I'm just kind of observing, trying to get a feel for people. I think I think there was something going on with Davey, but I really don't want to go back to that right now.
But Davey,
I really don't. I don't think anything's there.
I always find it a bit odd when the person who's on the block first seconds the next nomination, because it leads to a potential for wolves to get the first and second on the last nomination. And I thought that this, like the Josh and Luciana kind of going together on that. My suspicion is a little bit on Josh at this point.
You're not used to me seconding.
So I think I trust Josh in this game.
You're not used to me seconding.
But he doesn't trust you, Jerry.
I tried to second myself because I know it's like I'm a very easy person to read on my defenses. So I thought I might as well get that one in.
I'm gonna nominate Cody.
Okay,
Can I second again?
Nomination from Brandon for Cody.
Jerry's.
Yeah, and if I can
Jerry
explain
seconds that. All right. So Cody, you can give your defense.
I am your avenging bodyguard. This was a very bad nomination.
Oh.
See, okay, well, see, the reason why
this is my defense. No, this is my defense. I don't want to. Yeah, you guys can vote. But I am your avenging bodyguard. My suspicions on Josh and Luciana. And yeah, I don't really know what else to go off of. I thought the weird Davey Graham interaction. So I think one of them might be bad. I just don't know which one.
All right. Do we have any questions for Cody, or do we go straight to voting? Brandon has a question.
Okay. All right. So I believe you when you say you're the avenging bodyguard. So I'm going to vote up to keep you. But the reason why I nominated you, and I want to know
Is there
why.
a question in there, Brandon?
Yeah, there's a question. There's a question. So why did you put like suspicion on like 5 different people?
I don't think I put suspicion on 5 people. My suspicions are mainly Josh and Luciana. I said I do think that there is something between Davey and Graham. I don't really want to revisit it, like Alex said, but I think one of them is bad. That doesn't mean they're both bad. That's just where my head's at. Doesn't mean I'm right. It's just where my head's at. Yes, Jugan?
All right, we will have one more question from Jugan, and then we are voting.
Why do you keep bringing up Davey and Graham? Because everybody's saying there's this interaction between them. I really didn't see it other than Davey saying he has a suspicion. He didn't really give why he has a suspicion. So why do you keep bringing it up in your defense?
I always figure the defense is a good place to give your suspicions, because if you get voted out and die as a villager, then it's good for people to follow up on those afterwards.
All right. And now I'm already muting you, because no matter how you vote, we will go to bed after this. This is the 3rd nomination of day 1. You're voting on Cody's life, and you are voting in 3, 2, 1, vote. And we have 1, 2, 3 thumbs down. That's not enough to kill, so you are going to bed. Good night, everyone. And Eddie, please come back into the village. All right, so that was not such an eventful day, oddly. Let's kick this night off with the Flower Girl. Flower Girl, who would you like to check to see if they are a villager? Thank you, Flower Girl. You can go back to sleep. Werewolves. Werewolves, please wake up and tell me who it is you want to snack on tonight. Who looks tasty? All right. Thank you, werewolves. Please go back to sleep. Avenging bodyguard. Avenging bodyguard. Please tell me who would you like to protect? If I give you a thumbs up, that means that you have protected successfully. And if that is the case, then you get to pick someone you want to target in this village. Thank you, Avenging Bodyguard. Please go back to sleep. Seer, please wake up. Seer, who would you like to check? Thank you, Seer. Please go back to sleep. And Old Hag, who would you like to send out for the next day? Thank you, Old Hag. Please go back to sleep. And at that, the village awakens. This is a very, very cruel village, though, because Eddie, who just came back from the licorice factory with all these treats for all of you, has been savagely murdered. So now you have to go find who stole his candy. Thank you, Eddie, for playing.
Was Eddie a villager or werewolf?
Eddie, in fact, can you come back for a second, Eddie? Good that you remind me of this. Eddie was a Yossi hunter. So Eddie actually gets to decide if he wants to take out one of his neighbors. If he's suspicious of them, he does not have to do this. So if you think that you are maybe seated between innocent people, you can also decide to forfeit this possibility.
There's loads of werewolf hunters. I suppose I don't know. I have to take a shot. Like I don't know. I guess it's tricky because I don't think I'm suspicious of Lucas or Chris. I'm more okay with Chris A than I am Lucas. Ah!
You're a very talkative hunter, Eddie. You have to make a decision.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. Sorry, Lucas. Sorry. Need to get those points last game. I steal all points.
That's why I killed you, Eddie.
Okay, we have some stunning revelations there. Eddie is killed and he was a villager, and Lucas is taken with him and he was a werewolf. And now the day begins.
Good job,
Eddie.
Eddie.
One more thing. Also, we have Luciana going to the ferry to Tallinn to pick up some more booze for the party tonight. So she's coming back in the evening.
Good job, Eddie.
If we do get a werewolf hunter today, I am a pretty obvious target for them.
But we have the apprentice, so no. Sorry.
It's just
is that just Seer though?
It's just the Seer apprentice. Sorry, I misread it.
Sorry, Cody, for calling you out of that one. It was just something I said earlier. So what I wanted to
I
ask
was
is
trying to get a little bit of suspicion on myself because it might take me further if the wolves keep me, and they might not suspect me. But it's a little too much.
So my question is, why did Sonia and Simon vote down on Cody?
And Graham.
Oh, Graham did as well, did he? Oh, sorry, I missed that one.
Initially, Cody was second on my trust list, but then I didn't like the way that he stopped Brandon from asking the question because I kind of thought if he was the bodyguard, he'd let Brandon ask. Eventually, Brandon got to ask the question. And I thought the only way that might happen would be if
he was speaking over me in my defense, and I was trying to get my defense before I had questions asked me. I don't like being talked over when I get the floor for like my 1 minute to talk, you know.
Yeah, but I kind of think like in a situation like that, I wouldn't have minded if Brandon just kind of it would have led in to help sort of explain it. So that's why I voted down.
Well, if I was avenging bodyguard and I got nominated third on day one, I'd be pretty frustrated. Just saying.
And I understand that too. And Cody, I was just saying, I wasn't trying to talk over you. I thought you had basically just made like a simple, quick defense, and there was like a pause in between. And so then that's why I wanted to kind of just jump in and ask a question before Barbie muted everybody. So, but I didn't know that you were still in the midst of your defense. So I apologize for that.
No, it's okay. I was just pausing to like observe the faces before me.
So can I just ask Sonia why she voted down on Cody as well?
Yeah, I'm just waiting. So I voted down on Cody because I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if he was telling the truth or not.
I have lied about that before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Somebody coming out first day as bodyguard, I tend not to believe.
But he has done that in the past. He has come out with a truthful role, and he has come out with a role that he wasn't. So I just wasn't sure about him, and it was the third vote.
Well, we have a apprentice seer in this game, so I'm just going to come out. I'm the seer. I checked Jerry, night 0, got villager, and I checked Chris R, night 1, and I got villager. So those are 2 cleared people to me.
You'll probably get one more check because Cody will probably protect you. Walls will go up. I mean,
yeah, I kind of have to.
I'm also
don't waste it on me, Alex. So
I trust you, Josh.
I love when people say that.
Yeah.
I trust Graham as well.
Well, I may be a lichen, so I don't want you to waste it. So go ahead, Chris.
Oh, sorry.
I missed Alex's check.
Jerry,
so it was Jerry night 0 and Chris night 1, and both of them are villagers.
Cool. Thank you. Sorry, Chris.
I just wanted to say that my top suspicion at this moment is also Sonia. Not because only of the downward, but she looks a little bit stressed. I think I get
I'm not stressed. I'm just sitting here on the couch enjoying the game, listening. You guys are reading me all wrong. I'm just listening.
That was the most stressed I'm not stressed I've had in a while.
Alex, I just realized there's 2 Chris's in the game, and I didn't hear the initial.
Chris R.
Yeah.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you.
So I'm actually trusting of Sonia, Simon, and Graham because I think only a true avenging bodyguard might vote down on that defense. And I don't think a werewolf would ever out themselves by doing that. I think as a village,
Josh.
I hear a nomination from Cody for Josh. Is there a second for that? There is a second from Chris R. All right, then Josh, you can give a defense.
Sorry that people didn't hear Graham. Graham's all the flower girl, I'm guessing. He checked me. I'm a plain villager. I'd like to know who else Graham has checked. I feel like I've been helpful. Don't kill me because this is a dumb idea. So.
All right. There's a question from Jerry.
Who says so, Josh?
I was a little bit suspicious of Lucas, but that's no longer here nor there. Like I was saying, I actually trust Sonia, Simon, Graham for those reasons. I obviously trust Alex and Cody. I trust Alex's reads, so I would trust Chris R. That's a huge trust list. So everyone else, I'm guessing, is on my suspicion list. So I think we should be questioning everyone else. In my opinion, there's a lot of trusted villagers right now. And I don't think we should go through this day without at least asking Flick to say something, because naughty werewolves don't kill someone who's not actually been able to say anything, like Eddie. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Simon.
Yeah. Do you think we should maybe think about who is a naughty werewolf that would kill Eddie?
Lucas.
We
Lucas.
vote up on you. See, Lucas
He came out and said it. That's why I killed you, Eddie.
Yeah, but
So this is no longer a question phrased at Josh, who is defending himself. So I'm stopping this right now. And I think you've had all the question time you need anyway. So we are going to proceed to a vote. This is the first vote of day 2. You are voting on Josh's life. You will vote up to save, down to kill, and you're voting in 3, 2, 1, vote. And we have only 1 vote down, so that's not enough to kill, and you can continue the day.
I'll be right back.
So I think Elliot would do that also.
Yeah.
He thrives on that chaos. And if I was a werewolf,
I'm not chaotic, I'm not mean.
Hold on. If I was a werewolf, I think I've already figured out who the flower person is, right? And so I've heard them. And so I would have killed him if I was the werewolf, because that's how I play.
yeah, I kind of Lucas in the past has said that he doesn't like that at all, and unless he's changed his mind, I don't think he would have done it. I think he was covering for people who would have done that sort of thing. Elliot, I think Jugan, Alex. Although Alex says he's the seer, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that's who I would be suspicious of.
Not me. I may like chaos. I may do some unpredictable things or be prepared to kill people off earlier than other people are. I would not go as far as killing off someone who didn't get to say 1 word in the game. That's just mean. And Lucas, if you're watching, you should be very ashamed of yourself for it.
Lucas at least didn't stop it. I'd rather move on to other stuff than like who would have killed Eddie. Graham, who else did you check?
I didn't learn any meaningful information beyond what I've shared. Or beyond what the village already knows.
Okay.
I am a little confused because Josh is saying that a role that dies if they come out has come out with their role. So I don't remember someone explicitly saying that, but if they did, they would die. Mod killed. So
let's tread deeper and try to get someone mod killed, or not.
I will just at this point say that if I feel you're playing the system, there's going to be a bunch more cursed people showing up. So don't try to mess with the moderator here.
The foot is down. The foot is down, my Barbie. Just stop, death and kill.
Just saying. I mean, you do you, but
before anything bad happens, can we change the subject a little?
I was just worried about that interaction, that's all.
I agree that we should hear from Flick before the day ends.
Would you like to speak, Flick, or do we need to nominate you?
No, was it? We just finished the quiz there like 5 minutes ago. So I voted down on Josh. I don't know, something felt off, but also I noted there in regards to the whole anything, you said that Lucas didn't stop it. And like, I'm just wondering, how would you know anything like that unless you were awake at night and maybe there was a sort of like a back and forth with werewolves? I mean, that's just an odd phrasing. And so that's just where my mind is at. So yeah, that is what I'm thinking. And I think that's just weird.
That can be a little bit weird. Do you have any other suspicions?
Honestly, I was looking at Lucas initially, and the reason I put that down because I have a Word document open. Hang on, scrolling up. So I had down my usual suspects, but I put you down and Lucas. I thought Graham asking about Tar and Seer was a bit interesting, but I literally wrote Lucas being helpful at start along with Josh. I don't know, can be steering the village, so it's a tad sus perhaps. So that was like my initial thing. And then I thought there was another bit where there's like 5 and Cursed with Hunters. And I thought that's an awful lot of information from Lucas, question mark. I wrote down a bit about the Josh and Davey thing, but I had Lucas down just because I thought there was a bit of steering, and I thought there was a lot of people doing a lot of talking. And I don't know. When it comes to you, it's just that I'm aware that, like, I've seen you use being helpful for the village as a defense to hide behind as a werewolf, and also as something to do as a villager, which can be very helpful. And so just every time you do it now, I just have this little red flag that pops up, and I go, just keep an eye on that. And yeah. And then when you said that thing about Lucas didn't stop it, I went, well, how would you know? How would you know what he didn't try to stop? So there you go.
We're running low on time. And that wasn't a nomination, Davey.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind hearing from Davey, though. Got something.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say I've taken Graham off of my sus list, mainly because of that vote, not because of all the peer pressure from all of you. I had Cody on there before he claimed avenging bodyguard, but I'm trusting him for now. Simon, however, even though he voted down against Cody, I'm not sure if I really believe him, so he's more on my list. And I trust Jerry, I trust Josh, I trust Brandon and Alex.
Yeah, Dave, don't try and we've got 40 seconds left. We need to get to a nomination.
Yeah.
I'll nominate
Sonia.
I'm sorry, I heard the words I'll nominate, and then I heard Sonia, but from two different people. So
I did nominate first, I think, so I think I have to step back. Sorry.
Are you rescinding?
You nominated last time, so you
I
cannot
nominated
nominate
last time.
again.
I can't
That's correct.
nominate again. Yeah.
I want to hear from Paul, so I'm going to nominate Paul.
Okay, so I'm pausing the timer. Josh is nominating Paul. Is there anybody who wants to second that? Alex is seconding that. All right, Paul, you can give it defense.
I'm just observing. I don't have much for reads. I am a plain vanilla villager. That's all I got.
All right, Elliot has a question.
How long's left on the timer?
You have 12 seconds left. Graham has a second and last question.
Oh, why do you think Chris A keeps bringing up your name?
Has he? I don't think he's mentioned my name once.
Oh, I must be mistaken.
All right, now we're going to move to voting. So this is the second nomination of day 2. You are voting on Paul's life, up to save, down to kill, and you're voting in 3, 2, 1, vote. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down in a village of 15. That's just not enough. So the day still continues, and you have 12 seconds.
Nominate Josh.
Simon is nominating Josh, and Brandon is seconding that. All right. Josh, you can go and give your defense.
That's a ridiculous nomination. I think I'm seeing the argument that maybe Simon would vote down, even though it goes against my thinking that a werewolf wouldn't. I guess Simon is the type of person who would. I'm going to move him from trust to suspicious, so I'm going to say Simon, Paul. I'm also looking at Jugan, as suspicious. So those are the top 3. I mean, don't kill me, but if you do, you're losing a villager. So I'll take the question from Graham.
Josh, did you notice the person who seconded you, even though I've cleared you as a regular villager, is the same person who nominated our bodyguard as our third nom on day 1?
Also true. Also true.
Cool.
That's Brandon, in case people didn't realize. I would have expected. I saw Flick, but yeah, Brandon also threw the gang sign up.
All right. I don't see any further questions, so I will mute you all because this is the third nomination. So you will anyway go to bed afterwards. So this is the third nomination of day 2. You are voting on Josh's life, up to save, down to kill, and you're voting in 3, 2, 1, vote. And we have 1, 2, 3 votes down. That's not enough to kill. So you are going to bed without a kill. This is such a lovely village. Oh, by the way, Luciana, please come back. You are back now from the ferry with all the alcohol. Thanks. All right, so let's start the night with the flower girl. Flower girl, who would you like to check? Thank you, flower girl. Please go back to bed. Werewolves. Werewolves, please wake up. Who is looking tasty tonight? All right. Thank you, werewolves. Please go back to sleep. Avenging bodyguard. Who would you like to protect? And if I'm giving you a thumbs up, that means that you have protected yourself successfully. So in that case, you can give me a name of a person you would like to target. You don't have to do this. It's entirely voluntary. All right, thank you. Please go back to sleep. Seer. Or would you like to check? Thank you, Seer. Please go back to sleep. And then the old hag. Old hag, who would you like to send out for the next day? Thank you, old hag. Please go back to bed. At that, the village can wake up. Just give me a short second here. I want to clarify one thing. All right, so let me review the events of last night. We have Sonia, who is going to her summer cottage for today. She's going to be back in the evening. And then we have, unfortunately, a tragic death last night. Flick has been killed, and she was a villager. And that's all. You can start your day.
So the werewolves targeted me last night. I didn't protect myself day one.
Oh, sorry, one more thing. Flick was a hunter, so she can shoot somebody. Sorry, I keep forgetting the hunters. Flick, who would you like to take out? And no input from anybody else, please.
Honestly, I'm not really sure because it's been so noisy here that I haven't heard half of what's been going on. So it's probably just potluck. Sorry, Eugen. Just.
All right, so Flick has decided to kill Jugen. Jugen is killed, and Jugen was a werewolf.
Hey.
I'm wondering a bit because I believed Cody when he said he was the bodyguard, but I expected him to protect himself because if he's so suspicious of me and Josh,
I literally just said
please don't talk over me. Just like you don't like it, I don't like it. So I was just wondering why me and Josh are still alive if you're the avenging bodyguard, because as a wolf, I would have tried to kill the bodyguard by now. And neither Josh nor me are dead. I mean, I was not here, but I'm still alive still.
He said that he protected himself last night, which is what I would have done if I was the bodyguard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why would not the wolves?
I saved my protect from my first day because everyone knew I was the bodyguard. So I figured the wolves would probably target someone else. And then I protected myself last night, and I picked Flick because I thought it was weird that Graham was clearing Josh so much, and she had this suspicion on him. And I find that Flick,
You picked Flick because
I did pick Flick.
Oh, you didn't pick. Okay.
I mean,
No,
I was going to say, I think it was like, I'm super impressed she got Jugan because I had the impression that she just wasn't paying enough attention, but clearly she saw something that no one else had mentioned. So
Well, I mentioned Jugan in my defense. So
Hang on, if Jugan
I
is-
had him on my list
job,
as
Cody.
well.
So if Jugan,
Thanks,
so
Alex.
if
I
Flick
don't
was in-
trust Cody though. I don't know.
I don't trust you, Luciana.
Yeah.
Because
I
I'm
wasn't
being
even here.
targeted.
I wasn't even here though.
Jerry, go ahead.
So we've got an issue then. If Cody did take out Flick as the avenging bodyguard, that means we got cursed last night.
I protected
No,
myself.
It means that he protected.
That means I got
Oh,
to
right,
protect.
sorry. Right, okay, sorry. I thought the protection was for the night before, so I'm playing a previous version of Avenging. Sorry. I forgot it was the same night. I thought it was previous night.
Brandon.
Okay, so going into the night last night, there was a ton of suspicion on me for nominating you, obviously in the first round, Cody, and for second and Josh. Okay, so the entire reason I nominated Cody, and I've stated this before, I nominated Cody the first round because I thought he had put suspicion on Davey, Graham, I forget, I think it was like Chris R and like two other people. But when he came out as Avenging Bodyguard, my suspicion was over with him. The reason I seconded Josh last night is because we had like less than 10 seconds left. I did want to kill somebody. I didn't want to go into the night without taking a shot at somebody. And also because I thought Josh had basically given the werewolves a target by outing somebody's role that didn't need to be out. And I didn't hear that person clear Josh. So once that person said they cleared Josh, that's why I voted up for Josh to stay. But anyway, go ahead, Josh.
Okay. First of all, Luciana, I think we can trust Cody based upon the only two villagers who have died were both hunters. No one else has counterclaimed Cody, and this is now the second day that they've had the ability to do so. Two, I'm interested in Alex's information. Three, about whatever Graham is talking about. Again, I think if there was, thank you, Barbie. I think if someone could easily just be like, I nominate Graham because he's still being suspicious because there are roles that can't come out. So for whatever reason. So those are my three things. I know people had their hands up who taken them down, but I do want to hear Alex's info.
Yeah. So last night I checked Sonia because I thought she looked a little tired and maybe a little out of it, but she's on the village team as well.
I'm a little confused about why Flick, she only said one suspicion and she didn't go after Josh, which I thought was a little bit weird. She went after Jugan all the way up in the top left-hand corner of the screen.
Alex,
voted
sorry,
up
who did
for
you-
him as well. So
Alex, can you go through checked again?
Yeah. So again, night 0, I checked Jerry, villager. Night 1, I checked Chris R, villager. And then this last night, I checked Sonia, villager.
Okay, given we still got a bodyguard and an apprentice, I'll come out with my information then. I'm the seer. I checked Eddie, Knight, Naught, he was a villager. I checked Graham, who's a villager. Chris is a werewolf.
Chris, which one?
Oh.
Okay.
Perfect. Just trying to protect you, but if you're going to come out, that's great.
Which Chris?
You.
I'm not a wolf.
Well, if you're going to give wrong information, I'm going to. You're now top of my sus list. In terms of the rest of my sus list, I'm sus of Simon, who does have a pen in hand, I also note, and I'm sus of Paul.
Sorry, can you repeat what you said, Elliot? Sorry.
My checklist was Eddie, Graham, both of whom were villagers, Chris R, who's a werewolf.
For what it's
Possible
worth,
she's a lichen.
If the check is true and Elliot is a seer, I'm a lichen. Because I'm not a wolf.
I trust Elliot because I'm not the seer, but all of the people that I named are people that are very high on my trust list. So
I think maybe somebody claiming to be a lichen would be a good person for, maybe a backup. Like if Elliot dies, the apprentice seer could check them. And after a second person has had a chance, then maybe we could let that person nominate Chris.
It's
so
also
get the same info.
I'm happy to kill Alex, Paul, or Simon, I think, at this stage.
Why would you kill me?
I trust Alex.
Hey.
I'd be. I'm going to nominate Simon.
Second.
Your nomination from Davey for Simon, and was it Jerry who seconded?
I put my fingers up and Lucy's said the word, so it's whoever you want to do first.
It was Jerry.
Okay.
I don't mind.
Right. So Simon, do you want to give a defense?
Yeah, I think something's going on that I don't understand. There's people that have come out with roles, and I should be trusting of them, but I think it's obvious what Alex is. The reason I voted Josh is because I didn't believe Graham at all, which apparently seems to have been true, clearing him. So that seemed perfectly legitimate to do that. And I also didn't like what he said about how Lucas didn't stop it. And it's very hard for the apprentice seer to check the seer when the apprentice seer gets killed.
All right, Graham has a question.
Simon, is it possible by apprentice seer, I meant the other person who gets to see?
No, it's not.
Okay, well, that's what I meant. But
all right, if there's no more questions, then we shall go to voting. So this is the first nomination of day 3. You're voting on Simon's life, and you're voting up to save, down to kill. You're voting in 3, 2, 1, vote. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down. 6 down is not enough to kill in a village of 13, so the day continues.
I wanted to vote down, but Simon, I thought about my question too late. Are you claiming to be the apprentice here?
Yes.
That's why I didn't vote.
That's why I voted up, because I thought he was claiming apprentice
I'm
here.
confused. Sorry, I'm confused now about what Graham is saying. Do you believe what Alex is implying, or do you not believe what Alex is implying?
I believe Alex was trying to protect the seer. Yeah. I believe if Chris R is a lichen, then the flower child can check and nominate tomorrow if Chris comes up as anything other than a plain villager.
Oh, okay. Not sure if I still believe that, but okay.
Elliot, what do you think about Luciana?
Cody, I think at this point it's just two villagers going after each other. I think.
I can answer the question for myself. Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
I generally don't think about Luciana in these games. It doesn't usually end well for me if I do.
That is true.
I'm suspicious of Luciana and Paul, and
I'll nominate
it right now.
I hear a nomination from Elliot and a second from Josh for, sorry, who was that?
Paul.
Paul, okay. So, Paul, do you want to give us a defense?
What is the reason for my suspicion or crimes that I'm accused of?
I'll say
as Paul is asking, I'll let you all.
Oh, you've contributed nothing.
If I'm allowed to talk, I assumed it was his just the flow of the game. I can't remember quite what it was, but there was one vote where I got suspicion on 3 people, and that's why I checked Chris or you and Simon were the other 2.
Okay. When I'm a vanilla villager, I almost never contribute to the village, so the fact that I'm not contributing should clear me. But if you vote to kill me, I guess that's another way you'll find out, but then it will be too late because I'll be dead.
All right, Jerry has a question.
I haven't played with you much recently, but the ones I have played with you, when you agree that you're often quiet when you are a wolf and you're being that typical wolfy quiet and you are on my sus list.
Does Paul want to give an answer or?
No, I don't think that's accurate.
All right, then we will go to voting. So this is the second nomination of day 3. You're voting on Paul's life, up to save, down to kill, and you're voting in 3, 2, 1, vote. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 votes down, so that is enough to kill. Sorry, Paul, you have been killed, and he was an innocent villager. Everybody, go to sleep. All right. Can I have the flower girl wake up, please? Thank you. Please go back to sleep. The werewolves, please wake up. Tell me who it is that looks tasty to you tonight. I will need a consensus, werewolves, otherwise it's salad day for you. I'm taking that. Thank you. Please go back to sleep. Or the longest snack break in the world. Then Avenging Bodyguard, please wake up. All right, thank you. If you are protecting successfully tonight, then you can decide if you want to kill somebody that you are suspicious of. You do not have to take this option. Thank you. You can go back to sleep. Seer, who would you like to check tonight? Thank you. And Old Hag, who would you like to send out of the village for the next day? Thank you. All right, everyone can wake up. And tonight we have had one death, and it was poor innocent villager Sonia who has been slayed. Thank you for playing, Sonia.
So I got to protect.
Oh, and we have, sorry, one more thing. I always forget to say this. Alex, you have been invited to participate in the tango competition, so you are out for today.
So unfortunately, I picked Sonia, but I did protect Elliot last night. So no curses turned. He is got to be the seer.
Yeah,
Why say that though?
Can I share something before you shake your head, Simon? Last night, I checked It's Coming Home, and I would just like to say home is a house and not a den.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm good with you, Elliot. I'm really not good with Cody, because if werewolves attacked Cody the night before, the logical thing is for them to go to Cody again.
Yeah. I know.
No, I know there was a big disagreement amongst the werewolves, but that was a stupid move by the werewolves. If
let me respond, Simon. This is day 4. Cody said he was the avenging bodyguard day 1. And we, with the exception of Sonya, every villager that's died has been a roll. Why hasn't someone counterclaimed Cody by now?
No, I'm telling the truth.
In which case, the werewolves are incredibly stupid. Sorry, werewolves, but you're stupid.
Okay, can I just recap where I think we are information-wise then? I know because of my power that Graham and Simon are good. I think we believe me and Cody are good because of roles and claims. I believe we believe that Josh is good because of other reasons, which leaves us with a situation where we've got 11 people in the village, 5 of whom are cleared.
Do we have an old hag that wants to come out?
Yeah.
We're 12 with the hag.
Unless Josh is the hag.
Sorry, 12 with the person hag sent out.
Josh can't be the hag. Josh can't be the hag. Sorry, yeah, you're right. Josh can't be the hag.
And I meant 12 with Alex. So
at this point, I trust Josh, Graham, and Chris R, and I trusted Sonia as well.
Is no one coming out as the old hag? Seriously, like this.
Luciana, send yourself out. No, don't send yourself out tomorrow. Luciana, who do you want to send tonight?
Next day?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's cool. So I will second and kill any of Davey, Chris A, and Brandon.
I'm a little bit hesitant on Davey because this is completely not information related. But when Simon said that, the werewolves were stupid, sorry, werewolves, to quote him, Davey actually laughed at that, and I don't think a werewolf would. So, but Brandon did not. So I'm very suspicious of Brandon right now.
Yeah, I was trying to sort of antagonize the werewolf, see if someone would notice a reaction.
But I didn't laugh either, and I'm not a wolf.
I think a wolf could laugh just to pretend they're not a wolf.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say that we do have seer information on
that was
Chris R, but if we're believing a person, then we would already know if she was a Lycan or not, right?
Yeah. Is anyone going to nominate Chris R for?
I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't want to.
I'm saying it's a bad idea.
Okay, in which case I think we've probably got about 7 confirmed players in a village of 12. We should just be out of the remaining 5. I know there's the odd werewolf hunter, but we could almost be taking a shot in the dark and we'd be doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Chris, say what you got to say for yourself.
I'm a villager.
Davey?
Your suspicions? Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine.
Let's go suspicions from Chris. Let's go Davey first.
Okay, yeah. Luciana was at the top of my list, but I'm going to believe Ronald Hag because no one's counterclaiming that, which puts Brandon at the top of my list now, followed by Chris A, followed by Graham. Because I know I was believing that he was the flower child, but then he started, and this makes me suspicious. That's fine, but I want it out there in case you kill me, Elliot.
I checked Graham.
Oh, I missed that then. That's my bad. I missed that.
Yeah.
So then obviously that takes Graham off my list. Makes me more suspicious, and that's fine. But my number 1 is Brandon. My number 2 is Chris A.
I'll nominate Brandon.
I hear a nomination from Cody.
Second.
Seconded by Josh's hand were up first, I think.
I don't need the
Gotta get those points.
Graham.
I don't need them.
Sorry, who are you nominating again? I
nominate Brandon.
Brandon. Okay, sorry. Brandon, you have been nominated. Please give a defense.
Okay. So I'm thinking it's between Davey and Chris A2. And the thing is, okay, so I can understand why everybody else is cleared outside of myself, Davey, and Chris A. But what's the reason that we're not clearing Chris R? Because she was at the top of my suspect list, but everybody seems to believe that she's okay. What was the reason for that? I must have missed a piece of information. Go ahead, Graham.
I think people had the opportunity to learn stuff last night, and nobody chose to nominate her. So,
yeah, Brandon. I'm not saying I follow exact 100% what's going on, but my assumption is that it's because she got a bunch of roses.
Okay, got you. Okay. But I'm just a plain villager, so it's a possibility that I'm either a lichen or cursed. So I mean, I think you guys have the advantage, so I don't think it's a bad idea to kill me now at this point anyway. So it's not that big of a deal. It's better for me to die right now than at night. So.
All right. One question from Graham before we go to voting.
if you had to take Chris or Davey with you, who would you take with you?
Well, I'm going off of I would have to go with Davey now based on those explanations. But before we started the day, it would have been Chris.
All right, then we will go to voting. This is the first nomination of day 4. You are voting on Brandon's life, up to save, down to kill, and you're voting in 3, 2, 1, vote. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 votes down. That is crushing. So Brandon has been killed, and Brandon was a werewolf. Good night, everybody.
Oh, Alex.
Yes,
back.
Alex,
Sorry.
please come back. He is back. All right. Okay, so we start the night with the Flower Girl. Flower Girl, who would you like to take a look at? Thank you, Flower Girl. Please go to sleep. Werewolves. Werewolves. Who would you like to target? Thank you, werewolves. Please go back to sleep. Avenging Bodyguard. Avenging Bodyguard. Who would you like to protect? If the name you gave me is the name that is being targeted, then you get to kill somebody tonight if you want to. All right, thank you. Seer. Who would you like to check? Thank you, Seer. Please go back to sleep. Old Hag. Old Hag. Whom would you like to send out of the village? Thank you. All right. And at that, the village can wake up. That is except for Simon, who truly has come home and sadly is awake no longer and very, very dead. And he was a villager.
Elliot.
Okay. It's a bad day for people named Chris. Sorry, Chris A.
I'll nominate Chris A.
I second.
I hear a nomination from Alex for Chris A and a second from Jerry. Chris A, please give your defense.
I'm a villager. I'm not a werewolf.
Okay, Jerry's
Graham?
hand was up first, so
Who's your other wolf, Chris?
I'm not the wolf.
all right. The second question of the day for Luciana, and then we go to voting.
Chris, do you agree that we should wait with killing you so we can talk about it a little bit more?
Does Chris want to give an answer to this, or?
Well, I'd like to wait and stay alive, but obviously everyone else doesn't.
All right, then we go to voting. So this is the first nomination of day 5. You're voting on Chris's life, Chris A's life, I should say. And you're voting up to save, down to kill. You're voting in 3, 2, 1, vote. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 votes down. That is definitely enough to kill Chris. Chris is a hunter, though, so he can take somebody with him if it.
I just need to turn my camera off 2 seconds.
I'll shoot Cody.
You shoot Cody. All right. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the game, because he was your last werewolf. I'm sorry, Lucas. You had 2 cursed. You just didn't hit them.
Yeah.
Why didn't Chris go for me or Josh?
You're right.
Like, Simon claimed a roll. He couldn't have been cursed.
Yeah, well, I did go for, well, I actually went for Graham. The night that there was that big kerfuffle, I actually was trying to vote for Graham.
I would have gone for me.
Yeah. Anyway, we can let Barbie do the roll.
Yes, I will go over who everyone was. So, Dugan was a standard werewolf. Elliot was the seer who never died. So I'm really, really sad I wrote all of this up because it was completely for nothing. Then we had Davy and Sonia at standard villagers. Your flower girl was Jerry, who did a bang up job at finding villagers. I think except for the last night, every time she found the villagers. Some of them cursed though, so there is that. Lucas was a standard werewolf. Eddie was the Yossi who immediately triggered, and I'm very, very sorry, wolves, that was really stacked against you. He was sitting between 2 wolves, so he had like 100% chance there. The dice decided that, so I should have maybe re-rolled something, but I didn't even think about it until it triggered. Chris A, was the werewolf hunter who had the unfortunate fate to die last of the werewolves, so he couldn't really impact the game with his kill that much anymore, or basically at all. Paul was a villager who was cursed, but you decided to kill him before he had a chance to turn. Luciana was the old hag. Graham was a villager. Simon was the apprentice seer. Brandon was a standard werewolf. Josh was another cursed villager, so he would have been an excellent choice to kill as well. Flick was the hunter, who got the read right and did kill Jugan there. Then we had Chris R, who was the Lycan villager, which you figured out. And then we had Alex as a normal villager, and Cody was your avenging bodyguard who killed Flick and Sonia, the 2 villagers. So unfortunately, his kills were not so lucky. And
just say that day 1, I did not target Eddie. I was trying to go after Cody. I just want to clear my name on that.
All right, I forgive.
Yeah, I didn't have my protect for that night.
I think that must have been the most frustrating game as a werewolf.
I also wanted to kill Cody that we targeted Elliot, but Chris A would not budge on one Graham, so we changed.
Yeah, I was trying to vote for Graham.
We changed to Elliot, but Cody is the one that had the role though.
Yeah, I protected Elliot that night because he came out as the seer, and I didn't have a protect for myself.
Yeah, and I knew Graham wasn't the flower girl because I had deducted that.
Yes, but
Jerry.
He was a playing villager. I was hoping to try and hit a cursed. Because
I will say, I got my kills wrong, but I protected 2 people, which is not easy as.
Yeah, you did well, Cody.
Gary, I heard you loud and clear. I heard you. I heard you.
I mean, day 1, I wrote Jerry's exact quote. I think I trust Josh in this game. I was like, okay, well, she's the flower child. The only way to protect her is to make it seem like I'm the flower child. And
Thank you. It was like I could clear people, but I can't
Yeah.
say I could clear people because I'll die. So I was like, I have to do this sneakily, which is really hard for me.
Was
But
not
I-
subtle at all.
I was debating there how much, but
I'm sorry I started talking about how, like, if you actually did come out as it, you would be killed off. But the only reason I did that is because I thought you and Josh were wolves and you were protecting him. So that's like where my head went to when you
in
were
my
doing
head, I'm
that.
like, shut up, Cody, because you're going to blow this sideways. Shut up. And I can't say it.
This is
I mean, they
also why
both survived the whole game, so my opinion didn't really affect things too much.
this was also why I was suspicious of Josh, because I didn't believe Graham, and it didn't come to mind that he may try to protect the flower, but it just flew over my head. So I didn't trust Graham. That's why I did trust Josh.
No, it's fine. You got to do a lot if you're trying to protect people. So
I felt like we were doing pretty well there. My only worry was that I get killed in Elliot's place and I turn out to be cursed.
Oh yeah.
I really didn't want that to happen.
I thought you were doing pretty well, Alex. I believed you as a seer also, so I think that was also like.
So, go ahead, finish up, Cody.
Not Lucy.
I was just saying, I think that it was good playing as a plain villager to make that claim when you did. It gave the seer a few nights to build up their information.
Yeah, the werewolves were preoccupied with two targets that, you know, the seer could pretty much just go on and do their thing.
Yeah,
I did suspect maybe you weren't because your first check was Jerry. I'm just like, that's a waste of a first check by any seer. Like
Saying he checks Jerry and Chris, I was like, okay, he's not actually the seer,
Yeah.
but feels like this is
One moment.
Yeah, sorry, Barbie, but like, yeah, I think I gotta agree with the werewolves, Lucas. Like, that was tough for them.
No,
yeah,
no,
it was tough.
Cody,
I don't
why
think
did you-
it can
Why
win.
did you think it was me that was the werewolf?
It's too many villager roles. It has 3 villager kill roles, and we have 1 kill role. So yeah,
there was a lot of.
it was no fun. Sorry, Bobby, but it was no fun.
No, it's okay.
There was a lot of sus on you, Sonia, from multiple people, and I had my own suspicion. I don't. It was mostly gut and trusting in what other people were saying. So.
I'm gonna head off.
Okay.
See you guys.
Thanks for playing. I'm playing as well, so going to go to bed because it's 1 a.m.
Bye, guys.
Standing at the cross.